Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Wow, it's Jake, and if you haven't seen any of my Spider-Man videos before, I highly recommend you check out the playlist to go back and watch all those videos and see how we've gotten here today. Since October 2023, I have been on a mission to review every single Spider-Man movie on this YouTube channel. We've been through the Tobey Maguire era. We survived the 2 Andrew Garfield movies. We got all the way through the Tom Holland MCU trilogy. And now, we just have a couple movies left to review. So in our Spider-Man timeline, let's jump to 2018. 1 year after Tom Holland made his debut as the live-action MCU Spider-Man.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Sony decided to introduce their own animated Spider-Man to theaters. A Spider-Man that kind of does his own thing.
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
And yes, you're gonna hear the word spider a lot in this review, so buckle up. So before I even get into the story, I have to immediately shout out this intro. It's so cool. Peter Parker gives a recap of his life as Spider-Man, and it's just packed full of references to other Spider-Man movies and media. They do the little Spider-Man ice cream reference. Isn't that funny? Yeah. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse follows a normal teenage boy living in Brooklyn, New York, named Miles Morales. Miles' dad is a cop named Jefferson Davis that tries his best to keep Miles on the straight and narrow, but he's often influenced by his uncle Aaron into being a bit rebellious. Miles loves making art and going out to graffiti walls with his uncle, but he's also incredibly intelligent, so we actually start the movie with him getting into this private high school. All this is set up really perfectly within just the first few minutes of the movie. They do so much with so little time, and you get to meet all these characters and understand their backgrounds and their desires and everything very quickly. And it's when Miles gets to this new school that we get our first bit of subtle foreshadowing that this movie and the sequel love to do. Miles is going to this new class, and the very first person he meets is this girl who calls herself Wanda. But also a smaller detail you may have not noticed in this scene is when he runs into the class, they're actually watching this video of this woman named Dr. Olivia Octavius, which, if you know Spider-Man at all, yeah, that's Doc Ock. Yeah, she's Doc Ock. So Miles sneaks out for the night from school to go hang out with his uncle and tag this sewer. But while they're down there, this weird glitching spider bites Miles, and in the morning, a lot of weird stuff starts happening.
That's weird. My pants shrank. I think I had puberty.
We've seen a lot of interpretations of people getting the spider powers in movies, but I think Spider-Verse is by far my favorite. I really love that a part of his new power set is that he actually has a comic book style inner monologue going now. He actually calls out why are the voices in my head so loud, which I think is just a really fun touch. But kind of the big twist here is that there's already a Spider-Man operating in this universe, Peter Parker. So Miles knows exactly what's happening to him. There exist Spider-Man comic books in this universe. So I really love this setup that it feels kind of like if a kid in our universe woke up with spider powers. This is exactly what happened. He'd be like, oh shit, I'm Spider-Man, that's crazy. So after realizing what's going on with him, he goes back to the sewers to investigate the spider that bit him, but he stumbles across something that he wasn't supposed to be a part of. So Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is having this huge fight with Green Goblin, which in this universe, he's an actual, goblin monster. He's a huge monster. But also Kingpin, who is trying to activate this super collider he's built in the hopes that he can bring back his dead family members from an alternate reality.
I like your plan, except it sucks.
And I just have to highlight that I love the stakes in this movie. Like, they're immediately at 10, and everything is life or death right off the bat. And this movie really doesn't feel like it talks down to you in a childish way at all. So during this, Peter Parker and Miles actually briefly meet for a moment, and Peter gives Miles this flash drive to shut down the collider in case anything happens to him. And, well, something happens to him. Now, another cool detail here that's kind of a blink and you miss it moment is when Goblin holds Spider-Man down into the collider as it's going off, you can kind of see his DNA get entangled with the collider, and that is what calls all the other spider people into Miles' universe. And then, when the reactor blows up, we see all of those spider people blast off in various directions. Which is like, duh, this movie came out 8 years ago, people know that, but like, it's still fun to call out. We're doing a looking back on, we're gonna call out the stuff. But before Miles can get himself out of that situation, the bad guys actually spot him, and we have a great chase scene with the Prowler.
Kill that guy.
One of the coolest, like, villain themes in a movie, straight up. It's so good. So after going to Peter's funeral, Miles actually goes out and tries to do some Spider-Man stuff, but he breaks that flash drive Peter gave him, so he kind of immediately fucks up. So Miles goes to Peter's grave shortly after. He's having this somber moment where he doesn't believe that he's ready to be the next Spider-Man. But then suddenly, another guy shows up. Another guy that looks exactly like Peter Parker. And then we get a fun explanation of this being Peter B. Parker. And he's actually from what is technically our universe, where everything is normal. But Peter B. Parker, he's had a pretty terrible life.
My name is Peter B. Parker. I was bitten by a radioactive spider, and for the last 22 years, I thought I was the one and only Spider-Man.
What a day.
I'm pretty sure you know the rest. You see, I saved the city, fell in love, I got married, saved the city some more, maybe too much. My marriage got testy, made some dicey money choices, don't invest in a spider-themed restaurant. Then like 15 years passed, blah, 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 super burn, I broke my back, a drunk flew into my face, I buried Aunt May, my wife and I split up. But I handled it like a champ.
And now, because of the reactor explosion and, you know, the Spider-Man getting pushed in there, Peter B. Parker is here in Miles' universe. So Miles accidentally knocks Peter out, and we get this really fun chase scene versus the cops where Miles is just dragging Peter's body through the city, and it is quite comical.
What about fun? Are you up?
So after Peter and Miles get to talking a little bit, Peter realizes that the only way he's gonna get back to his dimension is if they work together to steal a new flash drive, so Peter can go back through the collider and Miles can destroy it after. So the two of them set out to infiltrate Alchemax. During this whole thing, Peter gets caught by Dr. Olivia Octavius, aka Doc Ock, who realizes he's from another universe. And we also learn that the longer Peter stays in this universe, the more his cells will deteriorate. The more his cells will deteriorate. The longer Peter's gonna die if he stays in this universe too long. And then we get another big epic fight / chase scene where Miles learns how to swing finally, and this is where a third spider person enters the fray.
Hey guys.
So when Gwen went through the collider, she actually got blasted into a week before everyone else. So that's why she got herself into the school and went where her spider sense was telling her to, which was to meet Miles. So our gathered spider people head to this dimension's Aunt May, seeing how she's probably the only other person who knows about all this Spider-Man stuff. It turns out everyone else thought of that too, because when they get down to Aunt May's underground bunker at her house, they meet all of these guys.
You're like me.
My name is Peter Parker.
My name is Penny Parker.
My name is Peter Parker. I was bitten by a radioactive pig.
And after the group discusses and catches up, they kind of decide that Miles isn't really ready to stay back and destroy the collider. So, feeling depressed, he goes over to his Uncle Aaron's to talk, but then we get a massive twist.
Hello, Mr. Fisk. I've got the security tapes from the tunnel right here. If the kids are out there, I'll find them.
You know me, sir. I don't ever quit.
Another really good chase scene follows. This movie is just absolutely full of chase and fight scenes, one after the other, that are just really good and well animated and really good music. Like, it just keeps the movie going along super well, and I like it a lot. Anyways, the villains actually chase Miles back to Aunt May's house, where we have yet another big fight scene in the house. And it's actually against Doc Ock, Tombstone, and Scorpion, because I guess in this universe, all the villains just work for Kingpin. Just the entire Spider-Man Rogues Gallery is employed by Kingpin. Anyway, this big battle ends up in a pretty tragic note, as Prowler is about to kill Miles on the roof of Aunt May's house. But when he takes his mask off, revealing that it's Miles, he has a moment of hesitation. So Kingpin blows his shit smooth off. Miles swings into this alleyway and they have their final moments. And then Miles' dad, who's a cop, remember, he shows up and he sees Spider-Man swinging away from his brother's dead body, yada yada yada. Now, Miles' dad really has a reason to fucking hate Spider-Man. And then this next part is the real, like, low, sad, somber part of the movie. But Miles is back at his dorm room. All the other spider people come to tell him, hey bud, you're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal, and we're gonna leave without you, and Peter Parker is gonna have to stay behind and die because you're too much of a pussy to be able to do it. So they leave Miles there webbed up, and his dad actually comes to the door and gives him this super sad but you know, motivational speech. And it really makes Miles see what's important. He knows what he needs to do. So he breaks out of his restraints, and then we finally get the iconic "What's Up, Danger" leap of faith scene.
Can't stop me now. Travel 200 miles, I'm knocking at your door, and I don't really care if you ain't.
So Miles goes to meet up with the rest of the team, and truly, this finale is just so epic, dude. I mean, you're seeing it on screen right now, but it's truly hard to describe. It's just so beautifully animated. Miles has all his confidence. He knows how to be Spider-Man. You get all these spider people working in perfect tandem. And I'm like, if you are a fan of Spider-Man in any remote way, this is just peak. This is bliss. This is Spider Nirvana, my brother. But seriously, for plot recap purposes, Miles gets to the collider, he sends all his friends back through to go home, and then he has a great fight with Kingpin. He blows up the collider. He has a really nice talk with his dad as Spider-Man. His dad doesn't know he's Spider-Man, but they have a nice talk. They have a nice talk while he's in the costume. I know I'm glazing. I know I'm glazing. You can say glazing in the comments. But everything about this movie is so fucking good, dude. The animation, the music, the story, the pacing, the characters. Everything is working in perfect harmony here. It's one of the greatest animated films I've seen in my lifetime. I haven't even mentioned the fact that they literally had to invent new animation technology to make this thing. Seriously. They also single-handedly created a new style of animation that the industry very quickly adapted to become the norm. Movies like that Turtles Mutant Mayhem from a few years back, Mitchell's vs. the Machines, which was another Sony movie, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, the industry very quickly adopted the Spider-Verse style because it was so cool. So yeah, that's it. Into the Spider-Verse is a 10 out of 10 movie. Pure cinema, put the meme up, put it up. So that's all I have for you today. Please hit subscribe, hit the notifications, because we have one more Spider-Man movie to go. Next time, we will review Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and we will be done with reviewing every single Spider-Man movie. And then in July, I'm gonna have to do Brand New Day when it comes out, so we actually won't be done.